Okay, so today first I want everybody to go ahead and close their eyes. Just sit and close your eyes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to describe something, describe an object, and I want you to listen to how I'm describing it to try to guess what the object is. Okay, so close your eyes and I will begin. This object is round and circular and is usually cut up into slices. It usually has red sauce on it with a variety of different delicious toppings on it as well. This particular one tastes like bread and cheese, as well as pepperoni, sausage, and pineapple, all combined into one delicious bite. It feels rough, bumpy, and greasy when you grab it and try to eat it. Alright, so you can open your eyes. So, what was the object, or what was I describing?
Pizza.
Pizza, good. How did you know that I was describing pizza, John? What words or what things did I use?
When you said cut into slices,
Uh-huh.
I thought of pizza. When you said it was round, I thought of a ball.
Okay.
And then but then when you said cut into slices, that's quite familiar background to come up with pizza.
Yeah.
Although I imagine other students may have taken a little bit longer than that, but yeah.
Okay, good. So you can describe food, you can describe person, place, thing, right? You can describe anything. So I'll give one more thing. So this object, right? It's furry. It's a furry animal that barks and likes to chase sticks. What is the animal? Furry animal that barks.
Probably is dog.
Yeah, good. So this is just a little activity to hear how you would describe something without actually telling the person what object the thing is, right? So I want you to practice, John, with me, and I want you to think of an object, any object in the room or an object outside of the room right now, just any object you can think of off the top of your head, and then do your best to describe that object to me without naming it.
This is something that is oblong shape-ish, that is about a foot long. It's usually brown, made of leather, and people throw it to each other.
What's oblong shape?
You know how long it's sort of shaped like a shoebox, but rounded ends that come together in a point on both sides. Jacob. Okay, I'll do another one. This one is round. It bounces. It's usually an orangish color and has black lines kind of around it.
Basket.
Yep.
What was the first one?
It's usually brown.
Brown.
It has some white shoelace type stuff on
Oh,
the
the
side.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Okay. So, today we are going to be talking about descriptive writing and how to use those sensory details that we talked about, the hearing, touching, tasting, right? Using those sensory details in writing to make it descriptive. Okay, so that's our focus of our lesson today. But first, let's put up some of these objectives for the class today. So one of the objectives is that the students will be able to learn the importance of descriptive writing in English. So why is it important? The second one is students will identify and formulate different descriptive words in English. And then students will also write a descriptive paragraph focusing on those sensory details. Okay? So those are our objectives. Okay, so first, why do you think descriptive writing is important? And maybe what's the purpose of descriptive writing, John?
Probably to give a lot of details about something.
Details. Okay. So what kind of details? John?
Usually details about how something looks,
Okay.
or maybe details to create feeling.
Create feelings, okay. Very good. Okay, good. So,
Details, another one is to help clarify what you mean.
yeah, good. Clarity.
Jacob, let me just stop for a second, because I thought of something before, but that's what I wrote down. When you said we're going to be talking about sensory words, I would have just suggested that you bring the word sensory up when you were asking me to describe something. Describe something, but try and use sensory type words, and maybe just because probably we already learned what those are.
Yeah.
So when you said we're going to describe things using sensory words, there was kind of a little gap between that anticipatory set, which was really good, by the way, and going, this. But anyway, so far so good. Good job.
Yeah. Okay, good. So, let's see, the purpose, right? The purpose of descriptive writing is to describe a person, place, or thing in a way that the reader, the person reading or writing, right, the reader can picture or visualize that person, place, or thing in their mind. Really trying to visualize what they're seeing without actually seeing it, or hearing it, or touching it. Okay? So that's, along with those, that's the purpose.
Visualize, that's a good word. That could be a vocabulary word for you right now.
Visualize. Okay.
Because you know how in teaching you have tier 1 words, have you ever heard of this? Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So this tier, that could be a tier 2 or tier 3 word
That's true.
that is a good vocabulary for students to learn. Good.
Okay. Yeah, so along with the purpose, so of course, you having imagery, so what you touch, taste, feel, smell, right? With those like 5 senses in the 5 senses that all you humans have. So I just want to ask, what are those 5 senses, John?
A little more of a space. What are those 5 senses?
Okay, what are those 5 senses?
John. Touch,
Okay, touch,
sight,
sight,
hear,
hear,
taste,
taste,
smell.
smell. Good. Yeah, so those are those 5 senses. So we're going to use...
What about the sixth? The sixth sense. Seeing dead people. You ever see that movie? The Sixth Sense? Kind of an old movie, but it's pretty good. You should watch it.
Yeah, so with these 5 senses, you'll use words and things to describe each of these senses when you're describing an object. Along with that, when you're using descriptive writing, it needs to be very specific. So instead of saying the man is tall, being more specific, how tall, or what is the man, big, skinny, just as specific as you can, as well as using these senses when you're doing a descriptive writing, or when you're writing something descriptive. So, right now, I'm going to give you a story. Okay, and when I give you this story, you'll read it. Just read through it, and while you're reading it, I want you to circle all of the words the sensory words, words that help you see how something, touch, sight, hearing, taste, smell of the words. So just go through that. I'll give you a minute and circle those sensory words or those
I'll
descriptive
read
words.
it out loud. On one corner of my dresser sits a smiling toy clown on a tiny unicycle. A gift I received last Christmas from a close friend. Clown's short, yellow hair, made of yarn, covers its ears but is parted above the eyes. The blue eyes are outlined in black with thin, dark lashes flowing from the brows. It has cherry red cheeks, nose and lips, and its broad grin disappears into the wide white ruffle around its neck. Clown wears a fluffy two-tone nylon costume. The left side of the outfit is light blue and the right side is red. The two colors merge in a dark line that runs down the center of the outfit. Surrounding its ankles and disguising its long black shoes are big pink bows. The white spokes on the wheels of the unicycle gather in the center and expand to the black tire so that the wheel somewhat resembles the inner half of a grapefruit. The clown and unicycle together stand about a foot high. As a cherished gift from my good friend Tran, this colorful figure greets me with a smile every time I enter my room.
Very good. So what did you think of that story?
It's pretty, a lot of detail, easy to visualize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. So what are some, just name a few words that really give you a good visualization of the story?
The clown's short yellow hair,
Mm-hmm.
made of yarn, parted above the eyes was a good touch. The blue eyes outlined with dark lashes flowing from the brows. So blue eyes, cherry red cheeks, gives, and its broad grin. Broad, I think, was a good word.
Good.
Clown wears a fluffy two-tone, the left side of the outfit. Those are all good words. Merge is a good word. Disguising its long black shoes is a big pink bows. The description of these spokes is really good too. Gather, that word gather in the center. Gather in the center, expand to the black tire. So yeah, really good. I like it.
Yeah, good.
Did you write that?
Okay.
Did you write that?
Yes.
You did?
Well, I did the activity and all of what you have I identified as descriptive sensory words. Very good. So I liked that story. There's a lot of other stories that I found that I thought that would be a good way to kind of visualize that story and practice identifying those sensory details. So now, what we are going to do, I am going to give you, what is it? So we're going to have a writing activity now. Here's the writing activity. Now that we've identified sensory details and identified these descriptive words and kind of talked about what some of those are through the first activity we had at the beginning, we are now going to have you read these 3 prompts. Choose one and write a descriptive paragraph, making sure that you use as many of those sensory details as you can. Alright, so I'll just give you a minute to look through those prompts and just pick one that you're most comfortable with, that you think you can describe the best. Alright, so which one did you choose?
I'll do number 2.
2, okay. So I will give you about 6 minutes to write a descriptive paragraph under the prompt. So just like right here, start writing a descriptive paragraph about that prompt.
While you walk around
Yeah.
and help whoever needs help. Say that.
While I'm walking, you're going to write this prompt. While you're doing this, I'll walk around and help you if you have any questions with how to describe anything that you're trying to describe. Any words you might not know, things like that. Go ahead and get started.
Usually jog to Kahuku. To get there, I run past the beautiful white temple
That was very good. Beautiful white temple.
that sits on the hillside.
Very good.
I then get to the busy highway and run for about 200 yards.
Very specific. Good.
Then I reach a bike path. The bike path is black. Is black
just about 2 more minutes to write your descriptive paragraph.
On the other side of the path is a wide open pasture land with black and white cows and brown horses. I feel peaceful even though
You can use the back of the page as well if you need.
get really sweaty and my shirt is wet.
Alright, so good job everyone with your descriptive paragraphs. Now I want to kind of hear from a few of you what you wrote. So let's see, let's have somebody come up here and read their paragraph to me about John.
Okay. When I am not at school, I sometimes go jogging. I usually jog to Kahuku. To get there, I run past the beautiful white temple that sits on the hillside. I then get to the busy highway and run for about 200 yards. Then I reach a bike path. The bike path is black asphalt, about 6 feet wide. There is green grass between the black path and the busy highway.
Very good. Alright, so good job everyone. We don't have enough time to read everybody's paragraph, but if there were time available, I would have you get into groups and share with each other your paragraphs and maybe talk about what you liked about their paragraph and maybe trying to identify some of those words that they used to describe that.
Actually, in a real lesson, you probably should do that for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Or just turn to each other,
Mm-hmm.
read it to each other.
Okay, good. So what I want everybody to do for homework is to choose one more of those prompts that you like and then write another writing description about that prompt. And then when you come into class, you'll drop them off into the box and then that will be your homework. So that's it for today. Thanks for coming, everybody. Good job today. And have a good weekend, and we'll see you.
Wait, let's think of a closure. Let's think of a closure that would be, that's separate from the activity that we just did. Like at the front, we did a visualization, close our eyes,
Yeah.
and we went through the lesson. It was very good, organized. Maybe restate the objectives, maybe, what can we do for a closure? Some type of activity. I want you to think of one, that's your homework. Gotta have a closure.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking the closure would be having them get into the groups and talk to each other about
Well,
their...
that would still be part of the activity. The closure, you need to just get in your mind the separateness of the closure. The separate of the closure is going to be outside of that activity.
Mhm.
So it's like the